Hello and welcome back to another Total War Warhammer 3 video we have for you today. We have real exciting news. We have DLC update out of nowhere, just on a Friday, random Friday of the day. We have new dev chat. Came out about 3 hours ago. Very, very new. And of course, it's SLAANESH. We all guessed that it was SLAANESH. Kind of real easy when there's only one pick left, you know? But we're going to check it out. And I will leave the video in the description as well, just so all you folks at home can watch it yourself. But let's get into it.
Hi everyone, I'm Steve Coleman, Senior Community Manager on Total War, and once again I am joined by some of our wonderful Warhammer 3 dev team to talk a little bit about patches, betas, and a little bit more. I am joined by Will, and I am also joined, through the magic of magic, Vasil and Radoslav from our Sofia studio in Bulgaria.
Oh, yay!
So let's do quick introductions.
These
Will,
are the main guys who
tell us
work on Warhammer
who you are,
now.
what you
So
do,
we gotta give them
and some
props.
things you've worked on.
Righto, I'm William Hochstadt, and I'm a Warhammer 3 DLC designer. I worked at the company for 5-6 years roughly, working on mostly mainline DLC for Warhammer 3.
Good, we like to hear that.
My focus
DLC
has
for
been
Warhammer
primarily
3.
on
Good.
our patching efforts.
Oh,
the interim
my bad,
content,
class.
the .x patches, 5.3, 5.2, 6.1, which is
They've
hopefully in
been
your hands
giving
by
us
now,
free units.
and
These are the
making
best
those
patches
extra bits
that
of content
the game has ever
to
had.
tide you over while you wait for our more major releases.
Awesome, thank you, Will. And now I'll throw over to Sophia. Vasil, how about you?
Hey, so
There's like
my
a
name is
10-second
Vasil,
delay.
and
You're like,
I've
huh?
been working
What did you
as
say?
a lead DLC designer over Warhammer DLC projects, and I've been with CA for a while now, for a few years back.
Man, that
and I'm
one
very
guy on
excited
the right.
to join the Warhammer team.
He
Thank
just
you.
doesn't look
And
like,
Rado,
he looks
how about
out
you?
of place.
Yes, hello, my name is Radoslav. I'm a principal tech designer working on Total War. I've recently joined the DLC team after finishing up with Total
He's
War
a
Feral,
newbie.
and now I'm working with various people on both patching efforts and DLC efforts.
Great, thank you guys, and thank you for joining us today. But for now, I'm going to send you back into the ether.
He just Thanos them away. Just goodbye.
Oh no, they're still there! We'll come back to you in a little bit. We're just going to chat with Will about the patches. So, patch 6.1 has just recently dropped for Warhammer 3, bringing with
Which
it
is
some
good.
refreshes for
Hey, more
Kislev,
fixes.
Tzeentch,
It's
and
not
Grand
perfect.
Cathay,
It
as
still
well
could
as
add
some
some,
new units,
but it's better
because
than it
everybody
used to
loves
be.
free stuff. And the usual bug fixes and tweaks to the core game that always come with these patches. So what's your approach to these patches at the moment? So how are you figuring out what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and how you're going to do it?
So right now, kind of the core of our strategy is
I keep touching my
something
mouse.
new to chew on.
My bad.
A
chat.
new extra gubbin attached to something that already exists to give you a little bit more to play with. And how we arrive at what to do is primarily something that we figure out through the help of the PX team. That's the player experience team, whose job it is to go through all those conversations everywhere out there and distill that down into something digestible for us in design to read and go, we think we can solve this problem that lots of people are having. Or we see that a lot of people are happy about this thing and want to see more of it, or unhappy about this thing and want to see it improved. And those...
It's so nice to hear that they're like, man, we want to like hear player feedback and like add things that people want to see. Like that's what we need right now. We need solidarity in these hard times in our Warhammer 3 life cycle.
help inform us in a very qualitative way instead of, because we can't just always go in our guts. We need some hard data, and PX are the perfect team for providing that to us.
Awesome. So the things that have come in the past, and you know, in like 5.1, 5.2, etc., as well as 6.1, has that all come through from the PX team? Has that all been based on the feedback that they've gathered for you, or do you often find things out in the wild world yourselves?
There's a couple things. We take things to PX as well, because we're all people, and we see things, we read about our own game. I mean, you can't prevent yourself from going on.
They
your own
lurk on
forums
the
at some
Reddit.
point.
I know that for a
And
fact.
when we
I
see
think
something
I'll
that
see
really
them
like
say
jumps out
something
to
about
us,
some
like
bugs.
to,
And I think
sneakily
that's
go to
pretty
PX
neat.
and go, hey, do you have any more info on this? Because I might have an idea. And some of the things have come from our side of the pond as well on that front. I think, for example, the Deeps was very much
From over the pond,
a Mitch
Governor.
led. This was something he was excited about. This was something he
I
really
don't
wanted
know why I
to do.
did that.
But of course, we
You hear British people and
appropriate
you
channels
just think of
anyway.
all the
There's a
funny things
process
they
to
do.
everything.
Awesome. Looking forward now that 6.1 is out there, is there anything you guys have already got planned for 6.2?
Hint,
or anything else
what are
that
we
you kinda-
getting?
you're
What are we
looking at
getting
for
next?
future?
Eh?
So at the moment,
Give us something.
Of course, seeing as this is being recorded before the release of 6.1, it's a little bit early to
I say it is kind of
exactly
crazy
what
that
we're
they're
doing
doing
in
this like
6.2.
this.
We're
I
still in
literally,
ideation phase
chat,
on
thought
that.
this was going to be a
I
month
can talk
away
some
until
broad
they gave
strokes,
literally
though.
anything
Up
like
until
this.
this point, we've been thinking a lot about what little extra gubbins can we add for you. But for 6.2, what we'd like to do is take that focus and bring it down to what core game system can we do some improvements for.
Making the
And some
AI
examples of what we think about
better.
when we say that is
Like
things
I
can
missed
we
the Warhammer
improve
2 campaigns
the situation
where
around
it feels like a
ancillaries for
big old
everyone?
like
This was
story
something
that you
we
make.
originally
Now
wanted
it's
to
just
do
like
in
point and click and hope
5.3,
I
but
win
we
kind
weren't
of
happy
deal.
enough with the result to put that out there yet. Some other things that are hot topics, especially because this is something that the PX team have been telling us about, is people are talking a lot about control, people are talking a lot about corruption, and that there's a lot of strong opinions on that. And that is something that we are considering right now. I think the way I'm going
I
to
think
frame
if it
this
just did
is
more than
it
just
is
one
too early
thing,
for us to
it'd
say
be a little
exactly
more
how we'll approach
interesting.
it,
It's like
because a very
Stellaris. You gotta
volatile
add. You gotta.
space. It's a
You can
big
have the
core
same
system
cake.
shared
You
with
just gotta
all the
add more
factions
to
in the
it.
game. And we have a lot of ideas. We know, for example, that when we moved to Warhammer 3, we changed corruption entirely from the system where it was a percentage division inside the province to having this more tabulated, you have a set specific discrete number that can go to 100. And we did that originally because we had this consistent complaint of people who really don't like it when they can't remove all the corruption in the province. They really like to wipe the slate clean, have no corruption.
It
But
is
now we
nice.
have a different problem where a little bit of corruption can really snowball to 0 or to 100 very easily. And that's something that's a topic where we're having a lot of discussions on this, whether how do we solve this? Do we want to solve this? And that's why I think it's a bit too early to give specifics, but these are the kinds of topics we're talking about right now. And I don't think we can put anything out there until we're quite happy with it, because it's such a core system. So we're going to have to be really sure about this one.
Yeah, I
I
think
think-
that's fair enough. No, that's a good approach. I don't know where you'll obviously...
I think with that, they should honestly just give bigger bonuses. Like, the negatives are already pretty bad, and if you don't have, like, anything, like, over there to, like, stop a rebellion, you know, from destroying all your settlements, I would think the payout for making that not happen would be a little higher, you know? Like, making, like, a prosperity thing. I think there is something in there, but it's not as strong. It doesn't do too much. Make it a little unique. Make it do something that you couldn't normally do with like economic buildings. Because it's like, oh, your public order is at 100. Here's more public order and a little bit more gold. I feel like there's got to be something special, you know?
be in your thought process for this, but maybe this will prompt people to give us a bit more feedback on that specific topic, and maybe we'll get some valuable stuff out of it from there. So we'll have to wait and see. People may recognize your name from the 6.1 dev blog that went out just before 6.1. So obviously you did a lot of work on that, including the fantastic unit card placeholders, which was artistic.
He's this
I can't think of
guy.
the word.
Now he's getting points. We haven't seen him yet in a dev blog, but he's getting points now. He's getting points. I haven't checked yet, but if there's a mod for that, I'm downloading that.
But you know,
It's
It's a
going on
crime.
stream
artistic
today.
crimes.
Crime, I think, is the word you're looking
Fair
for.
enough. I'm very disappointed that they didn't make it into the patch. That aside, are there any kind of highlights from 6.1 or things that you particularly are proud of that you'd want to talk about?
I think, yeah. So when we were concepting a lot of the work for 6.1, there was definitely one feature, I think, above all else, that kind of really got the mental juices flowing. It was when we were talking about how do we do atamans. And atamans, of course, are these provincial governors, and so they're meant to emphasize the power of interior Kislev. And as we went through a lot of different variations on what can an ataman do, we came to this idea of what if an ataman lets you take a settlement, left-click it, and then right-click an enemy army nearby and have the settlement attack the army. And this idea of having a settlement attack an army instead of an army attack a settlement, which is the usual Total War flow, just immediately everyone who was talking about this, eyes up. Like, that's an interesting idea. That's fun. And the moment we knew we had that, we couldn't stop chasing that dream, essentially. And it's
I think
big
more little
technical challenge to
mechanics like
achieve,
that
but
is nice.
It was simply
Everyone
too
needs
interesting
more
for us to let
mechanics.
it go once we caught on to that idea.
Lizard man.
Thanks, Will. That's really awesome. From one round of big changes with the refreshes from 6.1
Please,
and the
please
future
give
in
us the meat and
6.2,
potatoes.
to
We're
another
waiting.
side that we're actually
We're
working on,
counting
which
seconds,
is
man.
campaign
Tell me,
AI
CA,
changes.
tell me now.
We've just recently run a beta on Steam.
Oh, they're talking about
which
AI.
has actually
I
just
know.
finished. We're looking at the
But it's
feedback
not
now. We
done.
have another one that's
We're like
gonna be coming up
halfway
in the near
through.
future.
They have
And this has
another
been
one
headed
they're
up
pumping
by
out, and then they
Rado
have to do a
in
final
Sofia.
time
So I'm
after
just going
that,
to
and
bring
then
him
they
back.
have to give it to us.
I didn't even have to click my fingers. I'm
Oh.
that good.
He's the magic man now.
But
He's
yes,
the
Radoslav
god
here has
of the
been heading up
studio.
the project for this campaign AI beta.
Only
We've just
Warhammer
finished one of the
3
rounds of
DLC
beta,
from now
and I'm
on.
looking at the feedback at the moment, and we do have another round coming in the near future. So if you missed out on the first one, don't fret. There will be another opportunity to try out some of these changes. So Rado, for those who haven't actually seen much about this campaign AI beta yet, what
so
is
if
this
you want to
initiative?
try out the
What's
next
kind of top
AI
level of
beta,
what
and
you
if they
are
don't tell
looking
it
to do
here, I'm gonna tell it now.
So
It comes
the
out in a week.
main goal of the
Like 6
beta
days
this time
from now.
around is to present the
'Cause yesterday was
community
the
with
update.
our latest efforts in addressing some of the more prevalent
Well, the day
feedback around the
before.
campaign
So
AI.
5 days from now.
Most of the
From this
changes
upload,
are
it's 5
like
days.
centered around
Yeah.
the AI's passivity, and
Making the
since
game
the AI is a
more
very fundamental
fun.
part of the game, and it feeds into a lot of different things like game difficulty and so on, we decided to kind of approach it a bit more cautiously, and we decided to go with the beta branch to not suddenly introduce this massive of a change to all users.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good. A really good way to let the players kind of have their say, I suppose, in this process. Are there any highlights or any particular things within that beta that you want to call out that you're particularly excited about or proud of?
So the highlight change of this beta has to do with the campaign AI's ability to recognize when it's being threatened by foreign forces. We discovered a rather fundamental issue with the way AI just looks at the world, and we found out that one of the rather fundamental assumptions of the AI around when it's being invaded and when hostile forces are present in its territory was just kind of wrong. And the AI was finding itself in situations where it thought it was being assaulted by enemy forces, when in reality, all that was happening
Right
was
there
foreign
explains
agents were,
why the
just
game
making
plays the way it
incursions into
does
the AI's
now.
territory,
Every
which
enemy
caused it
army
to fall into
just
this,
sits in their
rather
settlement
defensive
and they
posture,
wait.
and it started prioritizing
And the
consolidating
moment
its
you're not in
forces,
your settlement,
making sure all
they
its settlements
close
are
in.
garrisoned,
That's all
and
they do.
This really robbed it
There's
of
no
opportunities to
any other way about it.
be aggressive
In
and,
Warhammer 2,
do other
you'd be
things
like
in the
playing
game,
as the
so,
High Elves,
like,
and
resolving
then out
this
of
issue has
nowhere, you
a
have
real
like
standout for
5
us.
to 10
Awesome.
Dark Elf
Can people
armies
expect
sailing to kill you.
Quite a kind of big difference in how things play out? as a
I
result
haven't
of
played
this
it
beta?
yet, the beta, but I
Generally,
hear very big differences and
the
people really like
overall
it.
AI's behavior isn't that different. This tackles a particular set of circumstances where the AI really just completely focuses on defense, but the frequency of this behavior can vary wildly between campaigns. So I expect that in certain playthroughs, like, players will notice a very big difference, and in other playthroughs the difference might not be so large.
This is something that we've struggled with a lot in the past with when it comes to working with the AI. Is there's such a huge variance in events, whether depending on what the player is doing, depending on what the hundreds of other factions are doing, and the AI's decision making is very complex and layered. So it's easy to
you can imagine
or rather,
them
it's
trying to
difficult
like code
to
this game,
find
and it's like
high-level
300 factions all must
of
do something at the
games
same
being
time.
played, and that's one of the great
reflect
roles
what
of
the other
something like the
faction
beta
does,
is letting
and
us
you.
get lots of information distilled down into a real player experience.
It's probably why they
Awesome.
abandoned
That's really,
the main campaign.
That's really good to get that
and just went
insight
to
into it,
this,
really. So for the
Immortal
people at home
Empires.
who may
they're
or may
like,
not have
well,
already been on the last
if we're gonna
beta
tackle
and
this
are
many,
hoping to get in
just
on the
do
next
them all
beta,
at once.
What can the players do to help support you guys in this initiative?
Frankly, the best way anyone in the community can help us out is just tell us your honest feelings. This is the most important thing for us. We understand that
but
there
when
might
we
be further
give
issues.
feedback, let's
There
be
are,
nice, because
many different combinations.
like, this is
of
just their
difficulty
jobs,
levels
guys.
and
You can't
legendary modes that you can
fault
play.
them
So
for trying,
no
and I think they're doing
feedback
better than they
is,
used to. A
worth
year or
more
two
or
ago,
less.
they
Just
were not
being
the same
open and
company.
honest with
They were
how you feel
going
about the
through
game
the
is the best
trenches.
thing for us, because it really
They
allows
burned
us
us,
to understand how you
but
feel.
they're fixing it with all
understand
these.
what
Like, these
really
are
bothers
new.
you,
I
what can
couldn't
we
find
improve.
any old
That's
dev
the
blogs
biggest
like
focus
these from
for us.
Warhammer 1 or 2.
Brilliant. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Rado, for all that insight into that. So, yep, like we said, there will be another
meat
beta
and
starting soon if you did miss out on the
potatoes.
first round.
This is what we're looking
So
for.
don't fret. Just
The
keep an
AI
eye
is
out for
big,
more information
I
on
know.
that in the near
We're
future.
not going to get that
Now
for
let's
a
move
hot
on
minute.
to another topic of discussion, which I'm sure a
Thank
lot of you
you.
are going to be very excited to hear about, which of course is
Let's go!
what's next for Total War Warhammer 3 DLC.
DLC.
So,
Because
just
guess what?
like
We
our
can have
previous
whatever we
DLCs
want
that we
after
put out
this.
over the last
It
couple
can
of
break
years,
the
this will
form
be another
after
3 Lord pack.
We don't have to do this.
But we're going to do things a bit differently now. We're not going to bombard you with all of this information, punch you in the face with it straight away with all of that info.
Give it to me now.
Today we're going to reveal the first of the 3 factions. And Vasil's going to help me with that.
I'm going to be silent.
Vasil,
I'm going to be
what
silent,
can you tell us
chat.
about what's next
I'm gonna let
for
'em talk.
Total War Warhammer 3's DLC?
Actually, I'd be quite interested seeing people guess this online and observe their excitement as much as we're excited to develop it and later on release this DLC. Some guess right, some guess wrong. For the next DLC, we've prepared, as you mentioned, 3 Legendary Lords and also 1 free Legendary Lord. And the first one that we're going to reveal today is Dechala, the Denied One.
Just a quick note, we mispronounced Decala's name throughout the rest of our interview, so instead of Dechala, please imagine we are saying Decala.
It's Black Panther
On
from
with the
Marvel Rivals.
Okay, so Dechala for SLAANESH. That's our first Legendary Lord for the next DLC. What can you tell us about her? Who is she and how does she play?
I've heard everyone talk
so
about her.
she's shrouded in mystery a little bit. She has been marked by
We gotta
SLAANESH,
soak this in. We gotta
leaving
soak this
her
in,
severely
chat, right
mutated,
now.
shedding her previous form.
It's the
which
picture
could
everyone
be
shows.
right now
Fuck, I
a
gotta
snake-like
stop.
creature with many arms, and in each one holding a deadly sword, leaving devastation across the battlefield. She's gonna play much in the theme of SLAANESH, of speed and damage and destruction. So she's going to be able to quickly get in and out of battle, leaving bodies and devastation behind her. Also able to flank on the battlefield very efficiently, and in that sense, she's going to be a very versatile and deadly warrior.
Interesting stuff. Can you give us a bit of insight into maybe a couple of units that will be coming in her roster? Maybe how they fit into the lore there?
As always, I think I'll keep the most interesting things for myself for now, but I can share a few units of the SLAANESH roster. One of the units, it's called the Champion of SLAANESH. The Champion of SLAANESH looks very much like Dechala. He is a snake-like creature with also many hands, but not as many as she has. The Champions of SLAANESH are known to be one of the most fiercest chosen warriors for SLAANESH that deal a lot of damage and destruction, much similar to Dechala, but not in the same scale, of course. They have multiple hands, each hand armed with a weapon, a sword, and they will circle around the battlefield in support and deal a ton of damage wherever they go. So another unit that we're planning to introduce are the Pleasure Seekers. They're a demonic cavalry, which present a demonette on a demonic steed. The demonic steed will provide the necessary speed and additional power that the demonettes don't quite have right now, so they're going to be incredibly punchy in battle, going into encounters quick and leaving them with the same speed, dealing a lot of damage in their wake and moving into different places efficiently. They're going to be efficient in flanking, they're going to be efficient in charges, they're going to be an all-rounder quick unit for people to enjoy. We're still not quite there with the implementation, as this video is recorded early, but we're expecting to see them in their full glory quite soon.
So what more can you tell us about D'Chala's faction and the kind of associated faction mechanics?
So we've tried
Units
to be
look
faithful
good so
to
far.
what Dechala is.
I got a
and
few
represent
thoughts,
her
but we're gonna wait till the
as,
end. We're gonna
such
soak all
the
this
game,
in.
and she's
Then we're
the
gonna
leader
check
of
it
one of the
out,
most
and
fiercest
we're gonna talk
warbands
about
under
it. I'm
SLAANESH's,
hyped. I don't even like chaos
followers.
for SLAANESH.
And
But
that's the Tormentors.
they don't
the
have anything
Tormentors roam
special
around
about
the
them.
world and
Look, we're gonna let him. We're gonna
destruction
let the
in their
man
wake
speak.
in
We're
their
gonna let him
search
yap.
for excess in their search for the better life for themselves, and that applies the most to Dechala. She wants the best pleasures and feelings for herself. She wants the best experience for her own life, and for that reason she uses her powers to dominate the opponents around her and to dominate the enemies that she manages to defeat across the world. These subjugated enemies help the tormentors and Dechala live their opulent lives that they've used to, and we're going to try to reproduce exactly this in terms of the destruction that she causes, the effects that she applies to settlements around the world, and how she uses her enemies for her own gains and her own benefits.
In regards to Slaanesh as a race, what...
That was a lot of words that mean nothing. Literally mean nothing. You can already, as Slaanesh, get other units from people and make factions like you because of your corruption on them. But they just didn't, like, we don't actually know what she can do. All we know is that it's something that can affect the whole map, I guess. Because he's like, it's everywhere. It's in everything, basically. You know, I'll stop. We don't even know what it is yet, and I'm already being an old man about it.
What more are we going to expect to see in the kind of free race rework? Is there anything that's coming in that's going to play into this?
So I'll be honest in this question, and we have to be cautious of how we approach it, as we've discussed many things about Slaanesh. Currently, N'Kari is the only available legendary lord for Slaanesh, and we want to distinct him from the other lords that we're going to add with the DLC. And with that distinction, we're looking into the content of Slaanesh as it exists right now, tailored a bit more towards what N'Kari presents in comparison to, let's say, Dechala. So we're looking into tweaking and modifying things for Slaanesh, like technology trees, skills, and things like that. But beyond this, it's early in development to promise anything, and I don't want to mislead anyone. And for that reason, I'll be more broad and say that we're looking into everything Slaanesh and try to achieve the best result for Dechala, N'Kari, and the mystery legendary lord that we've not yet revealed.
Talking, of course, about N'Kari and Dechala, both of them have these strong overtones of they defeat their enemies, and then in some way their enemy is then made their puppet or under their control. But what is the key difference between the two approaches, or you're playing N'Kari versus when you're playing Dechala?
That's actually a pretty good question. It's very much on point. They both indeed control their enemies in some form or faction, although the difference here comes from where N'Kari uses seduction.
One has
he uses
6
his
arms,
demonic
I
influence
think,
in order to
and is a
appeal
hot
to his
snake
victims.
lady.
Dechala is a bit more forceful. She
I didn't even think
dominates
about
her
that till
victims
now.
with the
See?
help of
Dominates her
an
victims.
elixir of sorts.
Dude, the
And
fan
we are going to
base
represent
is
that
going to
in
be
her faction
gooning.
mechanic, as she's going to be using more forceful
Everyone's
methods.
remember when Thrones of
use,
Decay came out?
The people that
I
she
do.
manages to enthrall.
Got a lot more people
And
into the game.
rather than
That's all I'm
N'Kari's
saying. Sold pretty
softer,
well.
I guess,
Kind of was the comeback
that
the
can be
game
compared
needed.
with.
Nice. Good question.
Core and,
I'm gonna have to
and
rein
the
you in a bit. You're gonna
last
steal my job.
DLC didn't have anything.
Awesome. Thank you,
and
Vasil,
it
for
was
all that
okay.
information. So there you have it, the first of
it
your
was
3
good,
new
but it
legendary
wasn't a
lords coming
banger.
in the next Total War Warhammer 3 DLC. We will be shining a light
When?
on the
Please
others
tell us
in
when,
the future,
almighty
so keep an eye
man,
out for more
Bob.
information. Do let us know who you think they could be in the comments,
they're
or
just
head
gonna
over to the
shadow
CA
drop
community
them.
or Total War Discord, get involved in the discussion, and yeah, we'll see if any of you get it
definitely
right.
high
We're not going to
elves.
tell you if you
And
get it
then the
right. You're
last,
going to have to wait and find out. I'm interested to see what
it
you think.
has
So
to
thank
be
you
dark
to
elves.
Will, Vasil, and Radislav for
And if
joining
it's
us
not
today.
dark
It's been really
elves,
good to talk to you.
fine. Norse
We'll be back
God,
in the
I'll
near
make a
future.
bunch of people
Until
happy.
then, see you later.
But if they don't do dark elves in the Slaaneshi update, I don't know if they'll get anything. And I know that their thing is finished.
Bye.
Oh, I love the bloopers.
Everyone wave.
Okay.
Yeah, wave. 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 Wave for the people. Okay, I have some descriptive words about this new lord. I didn't know anything about her. I knew she was a snake.
And damage
See,
and
we'll pause.
destruction.
Oh god.
So she's going to be able to Quickly get in and out of
So,
battle, leaving
oh, I'm not very good at this. There we go.
damage and destruction. So she's going to be able to quickly get in.
This looked very different from the model they showed. That's what I wanted to look at. I don't get why this is here. I think this is just the color. Yeah, 6 arms. Yeah, you see, she doesn't look like Nakari's huge. Like they have like a comparison. It's like the tall as a person, not tall as a person, but like just like bigger. Just the tail that makes her bigger. She's just like big old snake lady. That is terrifying. But I think it's really scary, but also cool. I think she looks like Zoro with the 6 swords. I mess with the swords. I like swords a lot. What can I say? I play dwarves and axes get so tiring. I'm not a hammer guy.
Battle,
I don't like hammers.
leaving bodies and devastation behind her.
Yeah, they're about to show it.
Able
Yeah,
to
this.
flank on the battlefield very efficiently.
This right here.
In that sense, she's going to be a very versatile and deadly warrior.
What is this? That keeps going. Is she just gonna be like super tall or super long? Comment down below. Is she gonna be super tall or super long? Let me know down in the comment section. Like and subscribe. Being a real gotta get that YouTube game up. This looks very different in my opinion to the art that they showed us here. Like, you see? This looks like Disney animated villain.
Of SLAANESH, of speed and damage and destruction. So she's going to be able to quickly get in and out of battle, leaving bodies and devastation behind her. Also able to flank on the battlefield very efficiently.
Kinda.
And in that sense, she's going to be a very versatile and deadly warrior.
Better than Nakari. Nakari only had half. She's got the whole set of watermelons. So Nesh will be happy with that. Or is they better with the both? I don't know. I only care for corn. And that's about it. But how do you feel, chat? I feel like this is cool. I didn't really expect much. I'm kind of sad she doesn't have any ranged. I hope she does in some capacity. Because if you bring like a thunder barge to a fight, what are they gonna do? Throw some spells at you? Like nothing can fly in their roster besides one unit.
Interesting stuff.
And nothing can
you
shoot.
Give us a bit of insight into
I don't know what they're gonna
maybe
do. I don't
a couple
know what they're
of
gonna
units
do.
that will be coming in her roster?
And these two guys,
maybe how they fit into
I don't
the
think they
lore there.
had ranged
As
weapons.
always, I think I'll keep the
So
most
I'm
interesting
really
things for
hoping
myself for now.
their big beastie
but I can
at
share a
least
few
just
units
fly.
of SLAANESH roster.
Because it does
One of the
hurt to
units,
play them.
it's called the Champion of SLAANESH.
All the
the Champion of
infantry and whatnot, they
SLAANESH
can get past
looks very much
artillery.
like Dechala.
But the moment you put a flying tank in the sky,
he is a snake-like creature
like,
with
oh
also
no.
many hands.
What
but
do we
not as
do,
many as she
sir?
has.
It's like Madara. What do you
The
do? You
champions
did
of
something with the
SLAANESH
first
are known
one.
to be
What will you do
one of the
about the
most
second?
fiercest chosen warriors for
Oh,
SLAANESH
I
that
just was-
deal
I was
a lot of
yapping.
damage and destruction. It's
talking.
much similar to the
Oh,
Dechala.
they do show the model.
The Champion of
after
SLAANESH looks
I
very
think
much
this
like
is
Dechala.
the coolest design so
He
far. I think it's
is
really
a
cool. The
snake-like
little gesture,
creature
little
with
fruffles.
also many hands.
And he still has 2 arms. It's just different, you know, from like this isn't like in the game per se. But we have like Dark Elf Medusa stuff. That's always fine.
But
I
not
think
as
with
many
this
as she has.
update,
The champions of
it's gonna
SLAANESH
help
are
so
known
much.
to be one of the most
SLAANESH
fiercest
is like a
chosen
dead
warriors
faction.
for SLAANESH that deal
got
a
nothing
lot
right
of
now.
damage and destruction. It's much similar to the Dechala, but not in the same
I think
scale,
it's
of
funny
course.
they say T'Challa through
They
this
have
entire
multiple
thing.
hands, each hand armed with
Yeah,
a
you see the
weapon,
model
a
looks
sword,
really nice.
and they will circle around the
I think they
battlefield
do. I
in
think they're
support
doing a
and
good
deal
job
a
on
ton
all
of damage
this.
wherever they go. So another unit that we're planning to
I also
introduce
wasn't
are the
listening.
and they will circle around the battlefield.
So I assume these guys are like elite infantry. I would assume 8 to 16. I wouldn't see any fewer than that. Like 8 would be the least I would imagine. I would like 24. I like bigger groups of like I like big, like big lines of army dudes fighting in my Warhammer game. Don't clip that.
Build in support,
But you know what I mean.
and
I like
deal a
more.
ton of
I like
damage
more
wherever
units.
they go. So
Because
another
when you only
unit
have
that
a
we're
few, they
planning
just
to
get
introduce
surrounded and
are
they
the Pleasure
lose.
Seekers. They're a
I think their design is cool. They just look like a Mad Max version
demonic cavalry,
of
which
what we already
present
have.
a demonette on a demonic steed.
But I also
The demonic
not really a
steed
fan.
will
But it's like
provide the necessary
you
speed and
expect
additional
this.
power that the demonettes don't
Now that I'm
quite have
thinking
right
about
now. So they're
the
going to be
big
incredibly
creature is
punchy in battle,
definitely
going
a
into
snake.
encounters quick
Dude,
and leaving them
this.
as
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I like how like they're just like you have to pay for blood, but then they're like this is in the game. Not even like a pair. One, two, three, four, four.
with the same speed.
I swear,
dealing a lot of damage
it's just
in
a
their
video
wake,
game.
And
Is that,
moving into different now, so they're going to be incredibly punchy in battle, going into encounters
Some lore,
quick,
some
and
lore
leaving
nerd
them
will have to tell
with
me.
the same speed.
Oh, I thought it was a dwarf symbol. It's not.
Dealing a lot of damage
I
in their
deceived
wake,
me.
And moving into different,
I was like, why do
different
they have
places
dwarf symbols?
efficiently. They're going to be efficient in flanking, they're
Man,
going to be efficient in charges.
I hope they
they're
give
going to
us
be an
the something
all-rounder,
range.
quick
Something
unit
range. That's
for
all I
people
care
to
about. It's the
enjoy.
only thing I want.
We're still
for
not
the
quite
faction.
there with the implementation, as this video is recorded
Something
early.
with big, heavy armor.
But
I
we're
can just throw
expecting
at
to
the
see them in their
enemy.
full glory quite soon.
Preferably.
So what
has a
more can you tell
cannon.
us about
I
Dechal's
have
faction
Iron Man?
and the kind of associated faction mechanics?
So we've tried to be faithful to what Dechala is.
Yeah, you
and
guys are gonna have to let me
represent her
down
video with
below.
Flanking
Let me know down below
battle, going
how
into
you feel about the new serpents? Question mark. Many question marks about that design. But hey, it's in the lore. People can't get mad if it's in the lore, right?
will provide the necessary.
I like how there's a little box for it. They're like, make sure you get it right. It's pink. I'm colorblind, so it's pink or purple in the middle, right? That does me. Like, these things are crazy. I think this design on the back looks cool. I don't know. It's a little goofy. These guys are my favorite.
And
Where
they will
lost their
circle around the
they lost their
battlefield in
little
support
fruff.
and deal
That
a
sucks.
ton
I
of
didn't realize
damage
that. I hope
wherever
that's
they
there
go.
when they release
So another
them.
unit that we're planning.
It's gonna suck. I didn't even realize that. I was like, oh man, they're so
Dechala.
cool. They got the little jester
He
thing.
is
Doesn't
a
have it.
snake-like creature with also
Well,
many
you never
hands,
know. It's
but
not
not as
done.
many as.
And where is it?
Battlefield. Very
You
efficiently.
guys gotta let
in
me.
that sense.
We
She's gonna
need
be a
the
very
answer
versatile
to this.
and deadly.
Is she
warrior.
just super tall or is she just super long? Because that to me that's crazy. Because it cuts off. We don't even see how long it is. That's crazy. to me.
Interesting stuff.
All you see and they don't want to show you. They're like trying to gatekeep. They're like, you'll
Interesting.
never know if she's long or just really tall. Cool design. Kind of spooky with the vampire teeth. But hey, this will make a bunch of people happy. I'm really excited to see the comments and what everyone says about it. So, but hey, keep it up. I will be streaming like I do every day, probably later in the day, probably a couple hours after this video goes up, of course. But we're gonna do the Kislev update and real excitement. If they're doing this, we just hope and pray that it comes out sooner than like 4 months from now. That would be a little depressing. Just saying, wink wink CA. But we'll give it a like, just like you'll give mine a like, because we're all friends here. And a subscribe, because that's what real Warhammer fans do. But just kidding, messing around. You guys do what you do. So much, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Very, very excited for the next DLC. And I will see you guys in the future. Bum 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 bum.